In 2013, the African Union agreed to scrap visa requirements for all African countries by 2018. Their goal, regional integration. Regional integration is crucial for the continent, yet remaining as a giant. Well, this week, President Muhammadu Buhari revealed that citizens from other African countries will get their visas when they arrive Nigeria. But how will this affect Nigeria's growth and Africa's development? Babajide Ogunsowo is with me to discuss the opportunities and potential challenges and also of implementing this new travel guide. Welcome to the program.
Good evening, Millicent.
All right. We've seen two major economic moves. One is the signing of the CFTA, that's the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement, and now we're having this allowing other African citizens easier entry from next month. How big and important is this latest move?
I think it's a really big move. Exactly this week, in 2011, the Americans celebrated as the week that began the end of the war in Iraq. Now, this week will be remembered as the week that began the freedom of Africa's travel. What do I mean? Let's remember what happened last year with our trade with other African countries. Nigeria's trade with other African countries was only 9%. The evidence we have today, January to September, shows that our trade with even other African countries has grown from what it was last year, 9%, to 15%. So we've seen tremendous trade opportunities, trade growth within Africa, and that is a positive for Africa. The African Development Bank's President Femi Akinwumi had also mentioned that Africa needs to integrate for there to be more prosperity. So clearly, yes, we expect there to be more growth. But let's make this very clear for viewers. This is visa on arrival, different from visa-free. So this isn't free visa for everyone coming into Nigeria. It is still visa, but it is now visas on arrival.
One thing that comes to me is, is Nigeria positioning to be Africa's real giant in terms of the border closure, the signing of the AfCFTA's agreement, and now we have this particular one. And I know also people want to know what was the status of visa on arrival in Nigeria before now.
In terms of economic potential, there's no other country. Out of the 54 countries in Africa, Nigeria has the greatest potential, again, because of that 201 million people living within our borders. But speaking of this new travel guide, let's take a look at how many visas on arrival has been issued in the last 3 years. And if we look at that carefully, we've seen that in 2016, we had just a little over 12,000 visas that were issued on arrival. And in less than 2 years, last year, we had over 30,000 visas that have been issued on arrival. What does this mean? It means that a lot of African neighbors and foreigners are interested in getting their visas when they come into Nigeria. So what we're going to likely see in the years ahead, 2020, 2021, is we'll be looking at numbers such as 50,000 visas issued on arrival, 60, 70, 80,000, possibly over 100,000 visas issued on arrival.
But with all of those big numbers, we definitely want the right people coming into the country. So how do we regulate that?
So here's the good thing and why people should not be bothered. The Nigerian Immigration Service has said 3 countries, Libya, Kenya, and Somalia, will be given extra scrutiny when citizens from these countries get into Nigeria. So it is most likely, there won't be most likely security concerns when these citizens come in. Again, Libya, Kenya, Somalia, citizens from this country will be given extra screening at our borders. But here's the time to take a look at how many foreigners are interested in Nigeria and what does this mean. And if we carefully study the table in front of you, we see a lot of numbers, but I'll summarize it quickly for you. What this table shows is that within the last 5 years, 3.5 million foreigners have come into Nigeria. You heard me right. 3.5 million people have come into Nigeria, but only 3.2 million have departed. What does this mean? It means we have over 300,000 people that have come in within the last 5 years and they haven't left. What? And so the government needs to put an eye on that. The government clearly knows what Channels is doing. Channels is winning awards and defeating other people. But more than Channels, the government needs to keep an eye on what other people are doing. Where are these 300,000 people that have come in within the last 5 years? What are they doing, and do they pose any security risk? The NIA and the DIA need to keep an eye on these people, and clearly we need to monitor those that are coming into our borders.
All right, so keeping an eye on the prize.
Keeping our ai on it.
We'd like to thank you, Babajide Ogunzoro. Thank you for joining us
The
on the
pleasure
News
is
at 10.
always mine.